The restaurant buzzed with Friday night energy, but Sarah Chen only heard the whispers. From her wheelchair, she watched her so-called friends huddled by the bar, phones out, recording. They thought she couldn't see them. They thought this was hilarious, setting up the paralyzed girl on a blind date as some cruel social experiment for their Instagram followers. Her hands trembled as she gripped the wheels of her chair, fighting the urge to leave before he arrived. Before whoever they'd tricked into this humiliation showed up and confirmed what she'd always feared, that she was nothing more than a punchline, unworthy of love, forever defined by the car accident that had stolen her legs 2 years ago. Then the door opened, and everything changed. Marcus Wellington didn't look like a setup. The tall man in the tailored navy suit moved through the restaurant with quiet confidence, his dark eyes scanning the room until they landed on Sarah. No double take, no hesitation, just a warm smile that reached his eyes as he approached her table. "Sarah?" His voice was rich and genuine. "I'm Marcus. I'm sorry I'm late. My daughter insisted on braiding my tie." He gestured to his slightly crooked tie with such natural ease that Sarah found herself smiling despite her suspicion. This had to be part of the joke. Men who looked like him, successful, handsome, put together, didn't go on blind dates with women in wheelchairs unless someone paid them. "Your friend said you love Italian food," Marcus continued, pulling out his chair. "Though I have to warn you, I'm embarrassingly passionate about pasta. My daughter says I turn into a food critic whenever we eat out." Sarah glanced toward the bar. Her friends were practically vibrating with anticipation. Phones pointed their direction. "Listen," she said quietly, her voice tight. "I know what this is. I know they set this up as some kind of joke, so you can just go. I won't be mad. Take whatever they're paying you and—" "Sarah." Marcus leaned forward, his expression shifting from friendly to concerned. "I'm not being paid. I'm here because my sister thought we'd get along. She works with your physical therapist, mentioned you were brilliant and funny and loved architecture, which is perfect because I bore everyone to death talking about buildings." "Your sister?" Sarah's heart stuttered. "Catherine! Katie Wellington? She said she's been trying to convince you to let her set us up for months." The pieces clicked into place. Katie had mentioned her brother repeatedly, but Sarah had always brushed it off, convinced no one would want to date her. She'd told her college friends about Katie's persistence last week, and they'd clearly seen an opportunity. Marcus followed her gaze to the group by the bar. His jaw tightened. "Are those your friends? The ones recording?" Before Sarah could answer, he stood and walked directly to the group. Sarah watched in stunned silence as Marcus addressed them in a low voice she couldn't hear, his posture radiating controlled anger. One by one, the phones lowered. Faces paled. Within 30 seconds, the entire group was leaving, shooting guilty glances at Sarah as they hurried out. Marcus returned to the table, his expression apologetic. "I'm sorry. I told them if I saw those videos online, my lawyers would be very interested in discussing harassment suits." He settled back into his chair. "Now, where were we?" "Ah, yes, pasta preferences." "You didn't have to do that," Sarah whispered, her throat tight with emotion. "Yes, I did." Marcus met her eyes steadily. "You deserve better friends. And honestly, I was looking forward to tonight. Katie's been talking about you for so long that I was nervous you wouldn't like me." "Nervous? You?" Sarah couldn't help the disbelief in her voice. Marcus laughed, and the sound was unexpectedly self-deprecating. "I'm a single dad who spends most evenings playing Legos and watching Disney movies. My last attempt at dating involved bringing my daughter's pet hamster to dinner because she had a veterinary emergency. The hamster was fine, just dramatic. I'm not exactly smooth." Despite everything, Sarah smiled. "What's your daughter's name?" "Emma. She's 7 and utterly convinced she's going to be a paleontologist astronaut princess when she grows up. The hyphenation is mandatory." His face softened as he spoke about her. "Her mom passed away 3 years ago. Cancer. It's been just us ever since." The raw honesty in his words stripped away Sarah's remaining defenses. "I'm sorry. Me too. But Emma's the best thing in my life." He paused. "Katie told me about your accident, that you were a dancer before." Sarah stiffened, waiting for the pity. "She said you're studying architectural accessibility now. Making buildings work for everyone. That's incredible. It's not the same as dancing, Sarah said quietly. No, it's better. Marcus spoke with such conviction that Sarah looked up sharply. Dancing made you happy. But what you're doing now, that's changing lives. That's making sure other people in wheelchairs don't have to fight to exist in spaces that ignore them. That's not settling, Sarah. That's evolution. Something cracked open in Sarah's chest. For 2 years, everyone had treated her tragedy with kid gloves, whispered about her potential cut short, looked at her with eyes full of sympathy. Marcus was the first person who saw what she'd built from the ruins. The waiter appeared, and they ordered. The conversation flowed like water, easy and natural. Marcus asked about her research, genuinely interested in ramp grades and door widths. He told stories about Emma that made Sarah laugh until her sides hurt. The hamster incident. The time she'd tried to excavate dinosaurs in the backyard and flooded the basement. Her current campaign to convince him they needed a pet dragon. She's very into dragons right now, Marcus explained, his eyes twinkling. Very serious about their care requirements. What did you tell her? Sarah asked. That we'd need to check the building codes for dragon housing. She's currently researching fireproofing materials. Sarah couldn't remember the last time she'd felt this light. This seen, not as the girl in the wheelchair, but as Sarah, sharp, funny, passionate Sarah, who still existed underneath the trauma. When dessert arrived, Marcus grew more serious. Can I be honest about something? Sarah's stomach dropped. Here it comes, she thought. The gentle letdown. I wasn't nervous about tonight because I thought you wouldn't like me, Marcus continued. I was nervous because Katie showed me your photo and told me about you, and I thought you were remarkable. And then I worried that coming on too strong would scare you off, or that you'd think I had some weird savior complex, or... He stopped, running a hand through his hair. What I'm trying to say badly is that I'd really like to see you again. If you'd want that, Sarah stared at him. Why? Why? Marcus looked genuinely confused. You're a CEO, you're gorgeous. You could date anyone. Why would you want... She gestured at her wheelchair. Marcus reached across the table. His hand hovered for a moment, waiting. Sarah placed her hand in his, and he folded his fingers gently around hers. Sarah, I don't see your wheelchair when I look at you. I see someone who survived something that would break most people and came out stronger. I see someone who turned her pain into purpose. I see someone who made me laugh more tonight than I have in months. I see someone my daughter would absolutely adore, who'd probably help her research dragon building codes. His thumb traced circles on her palm. I see you, just you. And I really, really like what I see. Tears blurred Sarah's vision. I don't know how to do this. Date again. Trust again. Neither do I, Marcus admitted. But maybe we figure it out together? Sarah thought about her so-called friends leaving in shame. She thought about 2 years of believing she was less than, broken, unlovable. She thought about this man who defended her without hesitation, who spoke to her like she mattered, who held her hand like it was something precious. Okay, she whispered. Let's figure it out together. Marcus's smile could have lit the whole restaurant. Fair warning, second dates with me involve a very intense interview process with a 7-year-old dragon expert. I'll prepare my research, Sarah said, laughing through her tears. As they left the restaurant together, Marcus walking slowly beside her wheelchair without making it obvious, Sarah realized something profound. Her friends had set her up as a joke, expecting humiliation and viral content. Instead, they'd accidentally given her something infinitely better. A chance to see herself through eyes that looked past wheelchairs and saw only possibility. 3 months later, Sarah stood in Marcus's living room, with her new prosthetics that she'd been brave enough to try after weeks of encouragement, helping Emma build an elaborate dragon habitat from cardboard boxes. Marcus watched from the kitchen doorway, his eyes soft. Dad says you're his girlfriend, Emma announced, attacking a box with safety scissors. Is that okay? Sarah asked nervously. Emma considered this seriously. Do you believe in dragons? Absolutely. Then yes, Emma handed her the tape. We're going to need more fireproofing. Sarah caught Marcus's eye across the room. He mouthed, I love you. She mouthed it back and meant it. Sometimes the cruelest jokes become the greatest gifts. Sometimes being set up means being set free. And sometimes the hand that reaches for yours in a crowded restaurant is the one that teaches you that love doesn't see limitations. It only sees limitless possibility.